Greetings, my noble knights, it is I, Blaze Templar, and today I have a subscriber battle for you. It's kind of the first I've done on this channel, mostly because I just haven't had much opportunity to do so. Kind of unfortunate, but I'm looking forward to this. He did mention beforehand that he only has 3 Pokemon IV-EV trained for his team, so he's going to bring some legendaries, and I went, okay, that's fine, and I decided I'm just going to grab a mixed bag. When I first saw his team, I went, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have gotten all OU. But what we got here is a Volcarona, Mega Steelix, Espeon, Meloetta, Rotom, and Bisharp against his Salamence, Medicham, Rayquaza, Scizor, Reshiram, and Xerneas. Now, looking at his team, the most likely lead is, in fact, that Xerneas, as Geomancy is a really common play for it, and with the Power Herb, it can do a lot of damage to unprepared teams. So that's my guess on what he's going to bring first. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Looking at the team, his biggest threat might actually be that Scizor, if I don't have, like, Volcarona or Rotom around or anymore. Steelix can potentially take hits from it, but if he's running Superpower, that could be really ugly. So let's just get right into this. And he does do what I predicted and leads with the Xerneas. Thankfully, I do have, despite it not being Uber, a really good response to Xerneas and Volcarona, as it is a fire bug type with Quiver Dance. And so I'm just going to immediately go for the Quiver Dance. Which I'm surprised I outspeed Xerneas because I'm not running much speed investment, or am I? I think I may be 114. It's got a weird spread. But anyway, he does go ahead and go for the Geomancy with a Power Herb, meaning he is immediately at +2 on his special attack, special defense, and speed, which is just insane. And that is why Xerneas is so threatening. But Moonblast is resisted, and Volcarona does have good special bulk, especially after the +1, so he can take a Thunder all right. He does decide to go for the Moonblast. I think he's confident that it should do a lot of damage despite it being resisted. It does about 40 HP damage, which isn't bad. Or 50, I'd have to double check, but I think about 40. And so we're looking all right there. And, of course, I'm running leftovers because this is bulky Rona. Yeah, I was right, about 50 damage. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Fiery Dance off. Now, you may be wondering why this is an even HP Volcarona. Unfortunately, this was developed for the level 100 meta, which means he would have 311 at level 100, but at level 50, it's 160, so it's kind of messing me up a little bit. But regardless, I do go for a couple Fiery Dances as he misses a Thunder. Unfortunate for him, but unfortunately for me, I don't get the first Fiery Dance boost because I would have probably taken him out then. His second Thunder does connect, and it's going to do a nice little bit of damage, but I'm still in the green, just kind of showing you how bulky Volcarona is at +2. Takes a +2 Thunder from Xerneas, no problem. Actually, took it better than Ho-Oh would. That's pretty insane. But regardless, go for the fourth Fiery Dance, and that will take out Xerneas. At this range, I have like +3 or 4 special attack. Not bad. And Volcarona's looking pretty nicely set up. But in comes Rayquaza. I don't want anything to take a Dragon Ascent. Even Rotom, who doth resist, won't appreciate taking a couple Dragon Ascents, so I just have to stay in, go for the Fiery Dance, and hope that Flame Body does kick in. It's a 30% chance. That must have been the +4 right there. So I hit him with a +3 Fiery Dance. Did a nice bit of damage, but not enough. Goes for Waterfall. I guess he wants to get rid of Groudons, which makes total sense. But unfortunately, for me, I lose my Volcarona to that. And so Shenron Knight is really threatening right now. As he does go for that Dragon Ascent like he thought he might have, it's going to do a lot of damage. Way more than it should have. I was surprised by just how much it did, but it was a crit, so it makes sense. So my guess is Draco Meteor or Outrage would have done about the same amount. So it's all right, because now I can go for the Thunderbolt, and at -1, there's no way Shenron Knight is going to take that. He's going to go down. And so we're hanging in there. Despite all these Ubers, we are doing all right. But in comes Salamence. It does have the Intimidate, and Rotom doesn't particularly care about Salamence because it resists flying. So I don't mind staying in, and if he does kill off Rotom, that's unfortunate. Outrage would take me out at this range, but I think he's going to be greedy and go for the Dragon Dance. And that is exactly what happens. He does go for Dragon Dance here. And so Salamence, Mega Salamence gets a boost to its attack and speed. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter as Will-O-Wisp will cripple it badly. And now he has to get like to +4 to have a +2, so we're okay there. He does go for a second Dragon Dance, so he's back up to basically normal attack now. And I can just go for a nice rest, get my HP back up, and let Will-O-Wisp, the burn, do some work. And that's kind of what my thought is here. I'm running Chesto Berry just because this Rotom is one of those Rotoms that it's basically only needs to recover once because of what kind of work it does. And it kind of proves itself here in this battle as it only needed to get back up to full once, and it acts as a status absorber with the Chesto Berry. Really handy. So he does go for Double Edge, knocks him down to about 30% damaged, and then Thunderbolt will take him out as it is a neutral hit thanks to that Dragon typing, but it is Stab, and I am running max special attack on this Rotom, which, it's just such a good set. I love this Rotom. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and have to face off against his last Uber, this Reshiram, and I fire off a Hydro Pump. It does over half, which actually surprised me, as Reshiram does have some pretty good, decent bulk. Unfortunately, it's not enough to take me out with the Dragon Pulse, and so I go for that Hydro Pump going, yes, I can 2-hit KO this thing, and it'll be game over for it, and I can just go to my next Mon. But unfortunately, I do miss the Hydro Pump, and so I'm forced to go for another. And that'll put him down almost a half. Unfortunately, not quite. And so I must have gotten a min-max damage roll kind of thing going there. And he does revenge me with a crit because of getting him down that low. So I'm going to go to Meloetta, as I know it can take basically any one hit from this thing and retaliate with a Psychic. And I should be faster anyway, so Psychic should go first, and it does. Blue Flare will come through in contact, of course, because Blue Flare is a really good move overall. But I do take almost 100 damage for my trouble. But Meloetta does have some pretty decent natural bulk when you invest it right. So, just has pretty decent natural bulk, all things considered. So I'm going to go ahead and go for that next Psychic, and Meloetta's looking pretty good here. I love this Meloetta set. I don't get to use it very often because it's just in such a weird place in the tier system right now. But in comes Medicham, and this thing is absolutely terrifying. But I am looking towards his last Pokemon, which is still that Scizor, and I want to be a fighting type with Meloetta just so he can't go for the Pursuit and basically Oko. So I'm going to go ahead and Relic Song here. I know that's going to put me in a situation that's kind of threatening, but unfortunately for him, it does get this thing put to sleep. So the Salad Berry boost is absolutely pointless. He's going to be asleep for at least one turn now, and this is his first turn, as he did go for the Endure, predicting my Psychic, which was a good play, but I had a feeling that Relic Song would be better, as just generally getting it over to the fighting type would be a good thing for the upcoming Scizor. So Psychic will take out the Medicham, and now all that remains is a regular Scizor. I'm not too threatened by a regular Scizor, except all of a sudden it turns out I am fighting myself. It is not just a regular Scizor, it is myself. And showing just how skilled I am, I go ahead and dodge and go for the Swords Dance, and my poor Meloetta is absolutely terrified at this point. I know Meloetta can take a Bullet Punch from myself. It's so weird to see myself fighting me. But yeah, Bullet Punch is going to connect. It is going to do over 100 damage, which is astronomical for Meloetta. And so I'm just going to U-turn out and get to something that can handle this a little better. And thankfully, because I was the slower U-turn thanks to Bullet Punch, it means I can bring in Steelix a little bit more safely. And I am actually going to go straight for the Mega just to get that defense boost. If he does have Superpower, it was a stupid play. But I just kind of have to get this thing Mega'd. If he has Superpower, he's lowering his attack and defense, so it still works out. But he does go for, I go for another Swords Dance, apparently. That is just so weird. I mean, it's amazing, but it's weird. And I'm just going to retaliate with the Earthquake against the +4 regular Scizor. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill, but Pursuit shouldn't do too much damage to me just because I am a Mega Steelix. Despite being at +4, and I am correct, does about 40, and that second Earthquake will take me out. And so that will be the game. And it was quite an interesting game, Edge. It really was. I was not expecting to have to fight myself, although I should have, considering I helped um, trade him back to you. Anyway, it was a fun game, and I will probably start going on Twitter saying, hey, I'm looking for battles, and that will probably happen once I actually have a capture card, at least in Force. As it is, I am holding off on that a little bit, but if a subscriber or just anyone wants to challenge me to a 3DS battle, I'm more than happy to. But for the meantime, I do have streams still coming. Wednesday should still have a stream. And then, of course, Friday, we have that weekly schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday still. And I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon. So, yeah. Thanks for the battle, and I will see you guys next time. Later.